Good afternoon and welcome to
Boppin Around with Venus
and Ayesha. Yay!
We're back for another episode and wow. Well, first of all, we hope you've enjoyed the first two episodes.
Yeah.
We're recording a bunch of them before we've even launched the podcast, so it's kind of crazy to speak into the future.
Oh.
But currently, I have a really banging headache. I think it's starting to go down a little bit, starting to get a bit better.
Can you please explain how you got the headache?
I took some painkillers. I don't know if I can.
Okay, that's
this
fine.
Country. But yeah, I just have had a really bad headache today. I do tend to get quite bad headaches sometimes here and there. I did get masseter Botox and I think that has helped, but just today it was just really bad. So, but with that being said, we are drinking margaritas right now.
Cheers.
Cheers, ho. And they are delicious.
Gorgeous.
Grum diddly.
From Diddly-umptious.
Obviously, if you guys know me, you know that I love tequila and I really love margaritas. They're just amazing. They're one of the best drinks on this
It's
earth.
really good.
Like,
She got me into them.
and this one especially today, it's doing something for me. It's doing something for me. How are you, babe?
No, honestly, I'm good. I'm getting ready for bingo, and yeah, I'm excited. The thing about Venus is, she's always taking me out because she's an influencer, right? So I'm always being taken to like influencer events, like free bottomless brunches, private podcast sessions with Rita Ora. Which is crazy because, like, wow.
That sounds like we podcasted with her.
I mean, we were in the audience and it was like 100 people.
Yes, well, we are about to go out to this bar in Brixton that does bingo.
Right.
It's actually an Irish-Jamaican pub, which is quite interesting to me because obviously I'm Irish, my boyfriend's Jamaican, so this will be kind of cool to see the cultures blended together. I think it's quite a unique type of place. But anyways, today's episode might be a bit of a quick one, because we don't have a lot of time, but we meant to do today's topic on our last episode, but we kind of just went with it and we ended up deciding to just talk about everything to do with Ayesha's sex work.
Because we got a call from a client.
And it just and it's better to just go with the flow, really. But so today's episode, we want to focus on just the fragility.
Can I just say, it's basically, okay, we're all hurt by it. Venus is probably hurt by it the most, obviously, because she lost, like...
Wait, babe, can I explain what it is we're talking about first?
Can I give the topic?
Yeah, but you dived in and was like...
She lost,
hurt
like...
by what?
She
did? So,
right?
Today's episode, it's basically about the fragility and riskiness and just... I guess, lack of control you can experience when you do online sex work in terms of these big companies censoring you and deleting you, basically. And that's something that I've already experienced over the years of me doing this. I've been doing, like, OnlyFans for 5 years almost, and I've experienced it a little bit. I was actually quite lucky so far. I hadn't had too many accounts banned. Like, the thing is with TikTok, I would have TikToks banned, but they would come back. Like, a lot of them would just come back. They would just get restored, even if the appeal didn't work. And like a month or two later, I would go on, I would see the account is literally back. And I'd be like, oh, okay. I had never had an Instagram banned ever. And I had like maybe 2 or 3 YouTube try-on channels banned, but like that's kind of like what happened with every single person that had a YouTube try-on that was doing transparent try-ons. If you know, 2024 was really big in the transparent try-on world. For the transparent try-on hauls. Babe, if you were doing online sex work back then, I would have had you doing them.
Literally. They
were so fun, but unfortunately sometimes good things don't last forever. So yeah, I had experience with YouTube being banned mostly and TikTok, right? But nothing could have prepared me for what was about to happen to me in the middle of June. Well, actually, it was probably more closer to the end of June. I was actually home in Ireland at the time. And I just opened up Instagram and I see that my own personal private account personal use, not business related, not sex work related, my own personal private account that I've had for 10 years was suspended. I was like, oh, there must be some kind of mistake. So I put in my appeal, they asked me to show my ID and everything, and I was like, my account will be back, no problem. And then I think the next day, they tell me, I go on and it's like, no, we rejected it. And I'm like, what?
So silly.
And it took me like a good 24 hours, I think, to actually realize that along with my private personal account, all of my Venus Energy business accounts had also been banned. So every single Instagram account that I ever made for Venus Energy that was active, some with like 100k followers, some with very little followers, maybe like a couple hundred, they were all banned, including my Safe for Work, just like lifestyle account that I have going, that was also banned. So every single account was taken from me overnight.
Jesus.
And, you know, I just need to take a drink because, Jesus.
Let me ask you, right? Did you think that something like this would ever happen to you?
So I've seen this stuff happen to other girls. Now, have I seen someone lose every single account overnight? No. But I have seen other creators in the space go through way worse situations. I feel like I have been very lucky up until this point, like, in terms of being banned. Like, my main TikTok that has like 250k followers, that TikTok had gotten banned a couple times over the years, but it always came back to me. So I really felt like I was quite lucky. And I would see other creators, you know, lose accounts, and I would think to myself, well, maybe they'll get it back the way I did, but some of them don't. And I had seen people lose Instagram accounts. And normally what happens, it seems like with Instagram, is every so often they do a big sweep, but they do a big ban of loads of accounts related to like slightly riskier things, mostly to do with sex work. I mean, but like even just like I've seen pole dancers get censored and get their accounts deleted. Just, it doesn't always have to lead to, you know, an online
I find it ridiculous
platform that is for adult content.
Venus, I find it ridiculous how they banned your personal account, because it's like that has nothing to do with work or anything, and you've lost connections to like family and friends, and it's just,
that's the one that upsets me the most, because the other one's like, yeah, it's annoying. Well, I mean, we'll get onto that. It's obviously annoying from a business point of view and a financial point of view. But my own personal account, like, that's my account that I literally connect with everyone, all my friends, people that I've met over the years. I see what's going on in their life. I have all mine, photos and memories and story archive, and my account is quite special to me. I used to like use my personal account as well as a way to really express myself. I mean, I would post kind of a little bit more thirst trappy style of photos before I actually started my own OnlyFans and Venus Energy and everything to do with that. But anyways, yeah, it's annoying because I care most about that account. Now, I've tried to get back that account along with my Safe for Work Venus Energy like lifestyle account, and so far no good. Like, I've subscribed for Meta Verified to contact Meta. They told me they wouldn't do anything about the Venus Energy one, and then they were going to look into my private account for me. And then they came back and said no. And they said, you know what, I need to like actually read out what they had said again. But I think what they said was, we're not gonna bring your account back because you're impersonating yourself. I think it was something along those lines. Because when the account got banned, it said account integrity. So I don't know. I have no idea. And this is the worst part. It's so hard to make sense of it. Like, when all your accounts are banned in one go, first of all, it didn't make sense to me. I had no idea why. And now it comes to be, basically, I've now realised that I think what happened was one of my promotion style accounts basically got banned, and then they just got rid of every other account that was connected to it on the account center, I'm pretty sure. At least that's what I think happened. There's really no clear answer. All I'll say is that I've seen this exact same thing has happened to a few different creators. So maybe it's just a new thing that Meta is doing now, that if they want to get rid of one of your accounts, they will get rid of them all. Is that almost a sign to not have any of your accounts connected? I don't know. I really don't know the ins and outs of what's happened to me. All I've been trying to do is find any way I can to get them back. Now, obviously, there's people you can pay, but guys, like the cost of... like, if I wanted to get my...
How much are they asking?
My regular, like, Safe for Work account back, they base it off of followers, so that account had 23k. It would cost $2,000.
Oh.
Maybe a little bit less if I pay in crypto or just things like that, you know. But it's just like, oh, it's not really worth it to me. Like, I might as well just make a new account at that point. Like, it's just... Now, the accounts that had 100k, you're looking at like $6,000. It's actually... But, like, they get them back. They do. So, if you have the money for that, I can see why people do it. But, listen, I think... To be honest, when it first happened, there was just so many accounts that actually, like, I was like, okay, first of all, my business accounts are all gone, and now my own personal one is gone. Like, there's just too many things to process. I will say now that it's been basically a month and a bit since then. Like, I'm really feeling the effects on my business. Like, I really, really am, because not only are my Instagrams deleted, but my big TikTok was also banned and it still hasn't come back. I don't know if it ever will. I had a really big promotion TikTok with 300k followers. And then not only that, but my Reddit. Something really weird happened to my Reddit as well. It's like suspended or something. So I'm really feeling the knock-on effect right now, and it is kind of scary. But like with entrepreneurship and working for yourself, you have really high highs where you're like, feel like, wow, I just made so much money. This is so great. And then you have really low lows where you're like, I don't know, like my next paycheck isn't guaranteed, you know? And it's scary when I got used to a certain consistency, and now it feels like I'm almost back to square one. Not exactly, but it feels like the scariest out of every time, out of all the 5 years, it's the scariest.
Can I just say though, like, it's been really tough seeing what's happened to you, but the one thing about you, Venus, you managed to keep yourself going. A lot of people in this situation would like just stop, maybe give up, but you really didn't give up and you really continued pushing. You just made your new accounts and you just continued as is. Obviously, it still drags you down, but I realized that at the end of the day, you either let yourself be dragged down or just rip off the ball and chain and fly free.
Yeah, and that's really all you can do. Like, to be honest, I feel like this time in my life right now is really... Like, I'm going to be looking back on this in a year from now, and I can either rise above it or I can fucking sink. Because even though I needed to really process the emotions of losing everything for a few weeks, but then, like, eventually it gets to the point where you're like, no, I have to do my best now to just get... I need to start up new accounts. I need to build all my systems back up. I need to... like, I can't just sit here and wallow. Like, I literally have to make new accounts.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at the moment. I've made a bunch of new accounts, but, you know, I think I'm just really feeling the effects of losing really big accounts that were really good promoters for me and bringing in a lot of fans to my page. I mean, another thing that happened to me is I literally got my YouTube hacked. I've had a lot of bad luck, but we won't focus on that for now because... that was another unfortunate circumstance that doesn't really have anything to do with the topic of today. But, yeah, so...
What do you feel could be the issue? Like, do you think they're targeting specifically sex workers, or maybe they're targeting women, or what do you think it is?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because, you know, right now in the UK, what just got passed, the law to... prove age verification before you go on porn sites and the likes.
Right.
And, you know, at first when I looked at that, I thought, well, this is a good thing. But then when you really, really, really look into it, and I'll actually link a good post that I read about it down below in the show notes, but it's less about actually caring about children's safety and more about censorship, control,
and data, and
trying to get rid of sex workers and erasure, basically. Because in a way what it's doing is it's making it harder. It's making it harder for ethical creators to make their money.
Definitely.
Let me pull up the the post that I'm talking about, because it's from an agency that I'm actually with called Lover Agency. They work with like kind of creators related to the sex and sexuality industry.
I actually used the age verify thing yesterday.
For Pornhub?
No, Pornhub actually blocked me because the age verification failed, which is ridiculous.
See, that's the thing. And that's actually what they were talking about in this post. They were saying that so far a lot of people have found that the verification system isn't working.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's a clunky, outdated way of
it is
of operating. And you see there, you can actually see how that's going to then have a knock-on effect.
Definitely.
Because it's trying to get people off of porn sites or off of, you know, this type of content.
But it's just moving them elsewhere.
And then therefore the creator then can't be supported. They can't have, they can't like, it's basically trying to get rid of the whole industry, because no one can be, if you're trying to put in your ID, you're obviously 27 years old, you're trying to put it in and it's not working. Like, ridiculous. That's basically just erasure then. They're just trying to, you know what I mean?
Horrible.
So what message did it give you?
Pornhub just blocked me. They just said we couldn't verify your age, it failed, you can't use this website, stuff like that, really. So I was like, okay.
What the fuck? You see what I mean? It's really weird when you think of it like that. I'm just going to read a little bit from what Lover Agency said. So they said, they made a post. Porn is a neutral media. It's not inherently harmful nor inherently empowering. Like film, music, or literature, it reflects the values of the people who make it. What matters is consent, context, and ethics. The issue isn't that porn exists, it's that we lack comprehensive sex education and media literacy, leaving people without the tools to critically engage with what they're watching.
Totally
which
agree.
is a very good point.
Yeah.
Now, as of today, age verification laws come into effect in the UK. When we reduce all porn to something dangerous, we erase the huge amount of ethical, creative, and or community-led work being done. If safety was truly the goal, wouldn't this be implemented at the device level or funded by Ofcom or the government? You know what I mean? So that's kind of a good way of looking at it too. It's like, if you really cared about safety, there's better ways to go about it. Instead, the burden unfairly falls on providers. The infrastructure required to comply with these new rules is prohibitively expensive. Age verification technology is designed largely for corporate platforms, not smaller creators. Most indie creators are self-funded, already battling shadow banning, censorship, and stigma. Amen. Literally everything we're talking about today. This adds yet another barrier. This shift will also deter users from paying for porn, impacting creators' income and potentially pushing some into more dangerous forms of work. So that's kind of the beginning of the post, and there's a lot more they talk about here. I'll just see, is there any key points? So, yeah, another thing they bring up is the breach of privacy. The idea that adults need to hand over personal information just to watch porn is deeply invasive. Adults should be able to access adult content without compromising their privacy, which is very true, actually.
Definitely.
So what we're building here is not a safer internet, it's a two-tier system, one where wealthy platforms can afford to stay online while smaller independent voices are pushed underground.
It's a way to control the mass though as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Another thing they say here is that, most disturbingly, it feels like no one meaningfully consulted the people most affected. There's been very little engagement from Baroness Burton. Who's Baroness Burton?
I think she works...
Baroness is not her name, it's the title. Yeah.
She probably works in the House of Lords.
Okay. From Baroness Burton or others with actual performers, producers and educators. And it's hard not to feel like the so-called porn review was shaped by a predetermined agenda. Once again, decisions about sex and porn are being made about us and not with us. We're getting censorship disguised as safety. This is moral panic, not public protection. You know what? I couldn't agree with this post more. And I also feel as though, like, this is kind of random to bring up, but the Sydney Sweeney advertisement for American Eagle jeans.
Yeah, what's that all about?
There's quite a push at the moment. It feels like in culture, well, I mean, it's not a surprising thing when you look at the political climate, but of being more conservative.
Right.
We were in an era, I feel like, of being a lot more
liberal.
Yeah. And now it feels like things are going very conservative. And I guess it's just a flow of the trends, right? Like, and it's weird because now that we've reached a certain age, I guess we can see that. I mean, when you think of it in fashion, like, some things go out and then they come back in again. I mean, apparently skinny jeans are back. I don't know.
Really?
But, like, for example, baggy jeans would have been a thing before we were really, I don't know, born. And then they were considered uncool when we were teenagers. And then suddenly, that's all people want to wear now. And skinny jeans were then out.
And now they're back in.
Well, I'm not sure if they're fully back in, but what's a better example?
I mean, I can fuck with that. A better example would probably be... I mean, that's an amazing example, to be honest.
I think there's, like, clothes I had when I was younger that I was like, ew! And then a few years passed by and you're like, oh my god, I'm so happy I still have them. You know what I mean? So it's a flow of trends and... don't know if we get onto that.
Let me just say, right, I feel like this entire thing, yes, they didn't consult the people who were most affected by it. But what's new? That's the thing, they do that a lot, especially nowadays with the rise of conservatism. They are not looking to what the people want, but rather what is going to be beneficial to the people at the top.
Yeah, I think, like, I wanted to talk about this today because it's a really great time when you're succeeding and you're doing really well and you think, like, everything's working. But first of all, it's just working for yourself as it is. There's going to be ups and downs. But when you compound on top of that, like, working in the sex work industry, in adult content, you're adding a whole another layer of, like, insecurity, basically, because it's not like it's kind of out of your control. There's only so much you can control, you know? Not only am I relying on myself to make my money, pay my bills, but I'm also up against the fact that, like, everything could just be deleted and, like,
just for no reason.
taken away from me just like that.
Yeah.
So I guess every day we're always trying to find a new way that we can promote on Instagram or TikTok or any other place that is as safe for work as possible. I know some of my content was pushing the boundaries a little bit. If you've seen any of my plants and garden related videos, those accounts got banned. That's okay, right? But it's the fact that everything was banned. A safe for work account, my private personal account, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. And it's weird how you don't really get much answers. You don't get much clarification. You're left in the dark. So I'm not really sure exactly where to end off this episode, but I think the biggest thing was I kind of just wanted to vent about everything because it is impacting me a lot at the moment. It is, like, I feel like I had reached a point where I felt like I was doing quite well and I was getting, you know, I was just growing and growing and growing. And it feels like I am back at square one, only this time I don't have another job. Now, I have a few different streams of income, but obviously OnlyFans is my biggest one. It feels like this is the first time where my income is really affected and I don't have another job, because I did work normal jobs while I had started OnlyFans. I think I did OnlyFans for 2 years before I fully quit other jobs.
Right.
Quit 9 to 5, basically. So, you know, I just feel like the stakes are quite high right now. And I just need to really work hard, or should I say work smarter, not harder, and just believe myself that I can get out of this tough situation. But yeah, I think it's just important to talk about because, again, even like last week's episode, for people that are considering like starting in this industry or, you know, making adult content or just anything of the sort, it's important to realize like
the risk.
Yeah. And the fragility. I feel like fragility is the right word to use.
It is. There's a lot of risks, and now with the new Porn Act as well, that's another risk. Especially like you said before with creators, which are like...
Can I take a sip of your margarita?
Yeah, you may. She does this a lot.
I'm going through it!
No, it's just horrible because now it's like they don't want people to be self-employed or something. Like, is it easier for them to collect tax? Yes, I guess it is if they're...
I do think, like, you know, when like people of like our parents' generation, they talk about, they say like working in social media or the internet, that's not a real job. This is the type of shit I feel like they would say like, well, what did you expect? Like, exactly. You have no job security. And that's true. And I think even a regular social media person or influencer, they're also faced with that too. Like, we could wake up tomorrow and Instagram could be gone. Even at the beginning of the year, TikTok was going to be gone in America, you know? It's like, you have a lack of control. However, I would still much rather work for myself than work for someone else.
Definitely.
That there is some privilege involved in that too. I'm still, the positives outweigh the negatives.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like,
exactly.
I believe
Definitely.
I can like get myself out of the situation and things will be okay. And another thing to point out is that have savings. Like, you need a good amount of savings. And I mean, I'm saying that to myself right now, honestly, because like,
No, same.
I think what's happened to me this summer is going to be a big learning lesson, and it's something that I think will impact me for the rest of time while I am working in this industry. Like, you just have to be prepared for shit to go down. Just prepare as best you can. Have backup accounts, but Jesus, they could get deleted too. But just diversify, be on lots of different platforms. You know, I'm happy I still have my Twitter. I still have my kind of safe for work TikTok. I mean, I have my YouTube. It's unfortunate my Reddit is still a bit weird. I don't know what's going on there, but
Mine too.
diversify as much as you can. Save as much as you can. Try to keep your content like as safe for the platforms as possible. But yeah, it's always kind of tricky coming up with a new type of content style that will still show people who you are and what you create, but be also safe enough to be on these social media websites. I mean, OnlyFans, can you please have an FYP? Like, can you please do an FYP? Because this is getting ridiculous now.
Maybe they will one day.
Hopefully. I mean, Fansly has a For You page, like, where you can just create a lot of hashtags. People can find you on the site. OnlyFans doesn't.
I need to get on Fansly.
You do, babe.
Wow.
Yeah, Fansly is just a website that I've only started really since... I want to say I've properly started posting on there at the start of this year. And I have had... I wonder how much I've made. Not that much, but I have had people come through on there and support me. So...
Do you feel like that could be another, direction that you could be heading?
I think one thing... Well... Jesus, that makes me just also think that like your OnlyFans account can also be fucking banned at any point, suspended. Like, that website in itself is another fucking conversation for another day. But it's good to be on other adult platforms as well, which is why I have Fansly. There's also Minstars is really good. I have a platform there, or I have an account there, but I haven't really started posting on there properly. And then there's obviously ManyVids, where you can just upload your videos directly. People can buy them. But yeah, it's just good to really diversify as much as you can. You know what? I feel a bit better that I got to just vent it out, one margarita in, and just, speak to myself as if it's therapy.
One margarita and a bit of mine as well.
I do think that when you work for yourself, you are in a little bit of a survival mode because... you're constantly aware of the fact that, like, you have to put in the work for yourself, and if you don't, like, you're gonna fail. Whereas when you have a job or a 9 to 5, you just clock in, clock out, and that's it. Leave work at the door, relax. But I kind of, different strokes for different folks, babe.
I guess.
But I think for me personally, it's weird. I guess I like that feeling. I like feeling like I have to fight for something, work hard. Even if it means it's going to be harder, it's more rewarding to me. So, anyways.
It might sound weird, but I'd like to see you fight for yourself because it makes me motivated. It makes me want to do more work and actually put the effort in, because the fact that we can actually be our own money makers, be our own providers, not really have to look at someone else as a boss is very... what's the word? Relieving. It's very, it makes you feel very independent and very brave, because majority of people don't do this kind of thing.
Yeah, I will say that's true. Like, I do think
it's not easy to do social media.
It is brave to start and to just put in, even if it's just a little bit of work every day. It's crazy what you can grow. I can't believe it's been 5 years now.
There you go.
And I think for a lot of people, COVID was the thing that spurred them on to start posting online in whatever form that might be, and I mean, that's kind of how it was for me, really, as well. Who knows where I'd be today if COVID never happened, honestly. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
We'll be back again, obviously, for episode 4, because this is an ongoing podcast. The fuck?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Let's just keep our...
heads up high.
Yes. Because what's a good quote we can end on? Let's just read out what it is here. Let's read out something about adults should be able to act. Actually, no, that's not good. That doesn't relate to that. Sorry. The way I'll finish it is everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end.
The thing is, right?
I said that to you in the lift today.
People say, honey, you know, all good things come to an end, but the reality of it is all bad things must come to an end, right? And yes, there's high highs and low lows. At the end of the day...
The lows make the highs better.
Exactly. So
and I think with
we
that...
just got to pull through.
We will pull through.
Yeah.
We will pull through.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
We appreciate your support and have an amazing rest of your week.
Love you.
Love ya. You've listened to
Boppin Around
with Venus
and Ayesha. Ciao.
Bye. Ciao.